Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1 finale, the dark one. To be totally honest, I can't help but kind of start at the end of this episode because the whole episode was really fun to watch, and then it was like, alright, I don't want to lose anyone else. Okay, let's make a deal. And then it just ends, and it's like they're driving off. I'm sure they won't actually even remotely make it to Jacksonville from Michigan. But I don't know what to think with the way they ended. I couldn't believe they did that. I love the ending, to be totally honest. It was insanely unconventional because no one ever really does that. And normally, even if they do make a truce, the villain generally is like, hi, I got you. And then they, try to kill the heroes right there anyway. And if that doesn't happen, then normally the hero makes the fake truce and they try to kill the villain automatically, which is definitely what I thought was going to happen with Ash. I thought as soon as that mask went right back onto the book, I thought he was going to say some little quip and then like stab Ruby straight through her head or something. But it's kind of cool that, the fact that she's alive means that we still get Lucy Lawless for season 2, which is pretty cool. And it it just creates an insane new dynamic for the series when it comes back, which fortunately it does. At the end it did say that we were getting Ash vs. Evil Dead in 2016, which it's currently 2016, so I would assume that means in the fall season we'll be getting season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, which I'm really looking forward to. That should be very fun. But I could not believe how they did that. I mean, technically speaking, we still have the cabin. I don't know if they'll go back to the cabin in season 2 or anything, but there's at one point I thought they were really destroying the cabin when they had Kelly set it on fire to get inside. But ultimately the cabin was still fine by the end of the episode, and they took off. But it was crazy. A lot of different stuff happened. Unfortunately, they didn't end up saving that girl. I still didn't bother to remember her name, which kind of sucks because she did actually die. But it was like, oh well. Like, once she was locked in the house, I was like, I'd like to see her survive. And then, she gets to go on into season 2. But this was one of those moments where it was similar to the second Evil Dead, where it was like all those new people came in, and the only person that walked out again was still Ash, and everyone else got killed off. And it was kind of like that, for her. And then, of course, for the people she knew in the last episode, same thing. They were just the random people that came in. Those two got killed off last time. She gets killed off in the finale, and it still ends with just the main character. So it's like, that kind of sucks. I would have loved to have seen her survive, but sadly it just didn't happen. And she got it so bad. I feel like, honestly, she had it the worst, in this entire episode. Like, Kelly had to deal with trying to save her and stuff, but ultimately Kelly had it super easy. She was outside the whole time until the very end, and she was being choked by Pablo at the end of the episode, but, like, really, other than that, she was trying to get into the basement. It didn't work, and she got kicked out of the house, and that was really it. She didn't exactly get attacked or anything like that until like the very end of the episode when she finally got in the basement. But otherwise, it was just like, crap, I'm locked out of this. I should try this or try that. And then the girl got completely destroyed. She had the couch flip on her and bust her leg open again. So that really sucked. Then she has the pins shoot into her face and everything. She takes one step and the pins shoot out of the ground, and then she just gets dragged into the red light and just torn to pieces. I was like, that really sucks that she got so messed up, and everyone else, as difficult as, it was for everyone else, it was like this random new person who just, got thrown right in. She was the one who got all the worst stuff in this episode. It was kind of sad to see that, because I was like, man, even if she didn't live, I was like, man, it could have been a little easier on her. Like, transfer some of that to the characters I know are going to live. But I think that's kind of why they did it, though. We're like, nope. She got the worst part of, everything that's happening, and that's death. But she also got tortured before that, and, she just got the worst of it all around. And it's like, man, that does kind of fit Evil Dead, though. Sometimes that's just how it happens. Like, people get thrown into it, and then poof, they all get killed off except for Ash and now Pablo and Kelly. And apparently Ruby. I don't know how that's going to play out, but as the herald of basically all the demons that are going to be unleashed, I don't know what to think. She's going to be, I would have to assume she's basically going to be invincible at this point. I mean, we still really don't understand the concept of her versus the other Deadites, because they still fought against her. So there's something going on there where they don't like her as the creator of the Necronomicon. And maybe it's because whoever summons those demons in some form, I guess, has a bit of control over them. And maybe that's the big issue about it. I don't really know. But for whatever reason, she did have that fight with that one Deadite. And so we still kind of need an answer to that. We definitely need to see what in the world's going to happen next, because there are just sinkholes opening up all over Earth now, and demons, and I don't know if they're going to do the whole, holes open up and then a bunch of flying demons come out, because that's the first image that always comes to mind, is just a bunch of demons flying out of the ground. But it's going to be crazy in this next season. I'm really looking forward to seeing if they add any, maybe not main cast members, but at least recurring cast members who might actually make it past this season, because everyone that's shown up so far has died. I think the only person that lived was the boss from the store at the very beginning. I forgot the name of the store because all I can think of is S-Mart from the old movies. But, or Value Stop, I believe is the name. So that's like the only guy that's lived that's really shown up. Like even the neighbors, I think the older neighbor, I think they had to kill her in the first episode. I think the other two people survived that were there that didn't really like Ash. But other than that, most of the cops, like if anyone had like an important role, they pretty much died during that episode. Like Ash's buddy died. Most of the militia people, they lived. So that's pretty much like, I'd say there's like 90% of the people that survived that actually had speaking roles were in that one episode. Everyone else pretty much got killed off. And even in that episode, I think it was like 6 people got killed or something like that. Ash's buddy, of course, was already turned. There were, I think, 2 or 3 guys on the truck with Pablo and Kelly. And then I think some other people died during that too. So, I'd like to see somebody come in and they actually survive. The bookstore guy, he got killed off. Obviously, Amanda got killed. All the cops that she was involved with, her partner was killed. The guy that came in when she actually found Ash at the diner, he died. Everyone in the diner died. So it's just like everyone keeps disappearing in this show. Pablo's uncle got killed off. So I'd like to see someone actually come in who's totally random, and maybe they just get to walk away. Even after they see a Deadite, just they get to leave and be okay, because everyone gets wiped out in this show, except for our main characters, including our main villain. But I love this episode. It was a great finale. I think it was a very weird one because of the way it ended. I think leading up to the ending, it was just 100% Evil Dead. We also got a scene from Evil Dead 2 where they show the guy in the overalls who got dragged down into the basement. So that was really cool. I saw like an article where they actually had a picture. In this episode, they have Freddy Krueger's glove hanging on the door, which apparently was in the second film as well. So that was cool. I never noticed that before. It doesn't have the claws on it. It has them in the movie. But in this episode, it was just the glove without it. But you can see, like, that's where the blade, where the blades go and everything. And I was like, that's really cool. Totally didn't notice that. But it's in some doorway. If you look to, like, the left of the doorway, it's just a glove hanging up on the wall. So if you have it still recorded, you can check it out. But I like this episode. Definitely as gory as it always is or should be or ever was. We got rid of Amanda officially in this episode. Unfortunately, hiker girl with the broken leg, or as Ash said it after the whole big thing, like, oh, I don't want to lose anyone else who's important, and she's like, that includes me too, right? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely, and then he just says, Kelly, other girl, and it's like, that doesn't exactly make you feel like you're important, like you're about to be saved. And sadly, she wasn't. Well, that wasn't a result of Ash not caring. That was just, the Deadites and the house, really came to life in this one. I think more so than we normally have seen, even in the films. I feel like the house itself, like we always see stuff inside the house, but I feel like this time it was like the house itself was bleeding. Like when Kelly was shooting at the little door to get into the basement, that was really cool. Like blood's actually coming up. We've seen the door kind of lock itself off and keep people either trapped inside or stuck outside, so that's fairly common. But the house was bleeding when Kelly set it on fire, so that was pretty cool. I don't remember seeing that in either of the first 2 movies, so I thought that was a pretty cool moment. Like, oh, she weakened the house and then doors opened up so she was able to get inside and even get into the basement. So that was pretty cool. I like seeing the house really come to life. The creepy kids, insanely creepy. Creepy kids are always creepy. I did like the fight with Ash though, and the way he killed the kid, and he like kicked it up and just held it and like destroyed the whole body and had like basically like scooped the head off of the shotgun. But that was really cool. The visuals were pretty gross on that scene when the baby first does come out of Pablo's mouth. That was kind of gross, but it looked really cool. It was, visually speaking, it looked cool. Just mentally speaking, it was still really gross. But it's Evil Dead, so it's not like I was surprised by it. But a lot of good jokes in there. I think my favorite part was definitely Ash before he fought the kid, because he's like, oh, like, oh, I'm Ruby, I'm the author, author of the Necronomicon. He's like, well, fuck you and the horse you rode in on and all this other stuff. And it was really funny. He's like pumping himself up, and then he gets into the fight with the little kid. But I really loved that part, and like I said, with the ending, I really don't know what to expect. I loved it because it was so crazy. I couldn't even believe it happened when it first happened. I was like, is he hallucinating? Because especially the way they did it, because he touched it, and it seemed like he was instantly going to, be in Jacksonville. So I was like, is he hallucinating? Is this a dream? Is this like him thinking about what would really happen? And so he actually went through it logically and was like, it would turn out really bad. But it's like, nope, that's actually what happened. They're sitting in the back, and he's just like, boom, AC/DC, back in black. And then there's a pothole, or not a pothole, a sinkhole, basically to the underworld that opens up behind them, and they're going off to Jacksonville, Florida. So I really don't know what to expect for this second season, but I'm very excited because it's going to be, the show in general is something we haven't seen from Evil Dead because it's not contained within the cabin or like in Army of Darkness. It's people that already knew about it, and it's, back in those days, the world, in a sense, obviously was really small. It's not like, oh, this happened, so everyone on Earth knows about it. Everyone on Earth is gonna know about this, whether it happens all over just, the United States, or even in one state, if it's only in Michigan. That's the type of stuff that spreads across the entire planet. And then, demons added on top of that, that's gonna get some traction real quick. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it affects the world in general for season 2. And I think the character dynamics are going to be really weird in the next season as well, because they were kind of okay with it, because basically Ash had to do that in order to save his friends. But after that, it's like, man, they're going to, because even Pablo was like, don't save me, like, kill her now so that this doesn't happen. And I don't know, like, they might not exactly be too happy. They didn't seem too happy to begin with, because they were like, they kind of couldn't believe he did that. So I don't know if we're gonna get a happy little trio in the next season. It might be like Pablo and Kelly versus Ash versus the Evil Dead. So the team dynamic may not be super strong in the next season. I'm kind of looking forward to that, because I'd love to see how that affects Ash. If he's trying to make this trio, because that was kind of the point of this episode, where it's like he doesn't want to keep losing people, and now he feels like I did everything I could to save the last two people I really have, even though it kind of screwed up the world, the entire world. But if he does that and then they don't really know how to trust him or stick around too much, it'll really change what he's hoping for. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think like I said, I think this was a really good season finale. Definitely tons of gore and comedy, and it was just full on Evil Dead. But that was just a crazy twist ending that I was not expecting. I thought it was ramping up to a definite defeat of Ruby, and I was like, nope, truce, we're out of here. And then the world's falling apart. So I'm really looking forward to what happens in season 2. I don't know how they're going to do Ruby for season 2. If she really is going to be like the herald of all the demons, she will kind of be like invincible. She'll have anyone and everyone kind of protecting her as the leader. Or there might be revolts, because we still have kind of the Deadite that she fought against this season. So she might not exactly have anyone and everyone coming to help her so that they can take over the world. They might try to kill her and do it themselves, which always happens, because demons, villains in general, it's always like, what, I want to kill this villain and be the big, big bad villain. So I'm sure we'll see a ton of that. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this finale. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, with just the crazy ending that we have, I for one want to know, how did you guys feel about that? Because it's so unconventional. But of course, I want to know what you guys are either expecting for season 2 or just what theories you guys have for what they can do for season 2, because obviously sinkholes opening up everywhere, demons coming out, not everything's really going to be saved. They even kind of have it in the little promo with Jacksonville, and then all the blood's pouring down. It's like, that's the dream that he has isn't going to happen. No matter what she says, like, she might let them get there, but they're going to be deadites all over the place. So you kind of just have to look at things as they're going to be. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about that crazy, unconventional Evil Dead ending, which is very reminiscent of the original ending of Army of Darkness, which they don't show on TV, but the original ending actually had Ash waking up in like a post-apocalyptic world because he slept for too long. And then they made the alternate ending where he got back to his actual time. So technically this follows the alternate ending of the third movie, not the original ending. It didn't test too well because, of course, it's a little sad where he goes to sleep for too long and, he wakes up and it's all post-apocalyptic and everything. But I guess that's where he's headed now. That's kind of where he left things to go towards, since he let Ruby kind of do whatever she wants. But I definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.